How's it going, everybody? So in this video, we're going to be discussing how to have a bulletproof immune system. This video is going to serve mostly as discussing my own blueprint for how I believe building a bulletproof immune system really seems to work on a mechanistic level and what the most important factors for having a bulletproof immune system actually is. Because obviously, just like most things in health, nutrition, and I guess sociology, what we call it, and many other topics, I feel like the vast majority of the mainstream society completely missed the mark. And I think that that's just because, greatness is not common. So the common person probably is going to have a faulty paradigm surrounding greatness. And that also has to do with immunity, obviously. So, greatness in all things. So anyway, let's talk about this. So, first of all, let me just say, over the last decade, I've increasingly become less and less prone to sickness, okay? And early, like the majority of my life, up until I turned like 21, I was always sick with the seasons. I thought it was just allergies and thought it was just normal, just like everybody else who blames it on allergies. But what I eventually realized was that most people seem to be suffering from low-grade colds pretty much year-round, and it gets worse when the season changes, and they just blame it on allergies. And the reality is they're just not very healthy. So over the years, so after I basically removed the majority of junk from my diet, I found that was the number one most important thing. I would get sick every now and then throughout the year, maybe every 3 months or so, I'd get a cold that would last 4 to 5 days or something, right? Eventually, when I basically tripled my protein intake and I went keto/carnivore in late 2018, around November of 2018, I actually noticed I would almost never get sick. I went from getting kind of like a minor cold, maybe every couple months, if even that, to only getting a cold maybe once a year, okay? And when everybody else was sick around me, I would never get sick, even if they hugged me or kissed me or whatever. If I got anything, it would be a minor cough, maybe some congestion for a couple of days. So based on experience, I'd say anecdotally, I definitely know what I'm talking about. And I've had very, very close friends and or relatives and clients of mine who trust in what I say, and they do the protocols that I say, that I believe in, and all of a sudden, they're never sick either, okay? Or their coworkers get really, really sick, and then they notice they are not as sick. So these are the anecdotes of the experience as to, we are living examples of superhuman bulletproof immunity. So let's talk about some of the mechanisms behind this, okay? So first of all, your immune system is heavily reliant upon the building blocks in which you supply it to create immune modulating molecules, we'll say. So from everything from lymphocytes to killer T cells to endogenous antioxidant production, okay? Endogenous antioxidants such as glutathione and superoxide dismutase, they are all reliant upon giving your body the building blocks that it needs to create these molecules, okay? And one of the number one most important things that you can give your body to improve immunity is a pound of kale per day. Obviously, I'm fucking kidding. That is the last thing, the one thing you don't really want to invest too much time or money into is filling your body with useless garbage like that. What you really need to do for bulletproof immunity is supply your body with adequate amino acids to create glutathione, superoxide dismutase, and the precursor vitamins and minerals that are needed along the cascade leading up to glutathione production. And so, for example, homocysteine is actually, partly homocysteine is considered pro-inflammatory and a primary risk factor for heart disease. Well, what a lot of people don't know is, folate, vitamin B6, and vitamin B12 are actually precursors needed to convert homocysteine over into endogenous antioxidants. So without the precursors, homocysteine is considered an inflammatory marker, but with the precursors, homocysteine actually serves as a prerequisite towards endogenous antioxidant byproducts. And so the question is homocysteine even actually a molecule that causes inflammation, whatever you want to consider inflammation as, or is it not homocysteine, but more so the fact that we're not converting it into these endogenous antioxidants, which allows free radicals to damage the body due to a lack of precursor nutrients that turn it into things like glutathione. So what I'm getting at here is endogenous antioxidants are vitally important. And you need amino acids from the protein that you eat, and you need the precursor vitamins and minerals like B12, folate, B6, magnesium, and to some degree vitamin C, in order to make those endogenous antioxidants in abundance and allow them to function adequately. So this, I believe, is one of the main reasons why so many people experience great health on these like animal-based diets, and why they find a lot of their long-standing disease states go away. Besides the fact that they're removing a lot of the refined carbs and refined fats and the excess calories and things, boosting protein overall just has a wide sweeping range of benefits. Everything from immune boosting to fat loss to mood enhancement and muscle gain. People just feel better overall, and that's generally a sign of a bolstered immune system, if we want to call it that. And when I'm talking about immunity, I'm not talking about taking a drug to kill off. I'm talking about you're naturally giving your body what it needs to provide that immunity. So yeah, amino acids, number one. Okay, and I talk about this all the time. For everything, amino acids are key. It's literally the building blocks of everything that matters. Your enzymes for digestion, your mood, okay, your neurotransmitters for your mood, neurotransmitters for histamine, for allergic reactions and things, testosterone production, everything. And now we're talking about immunity and glutathione and superoxide dismutase and these things. So once you have the building blocks of your immune molecules and your endogenous antioxidants, now we can look at things to optimize their functioning. So in carnivore land, you'll hear a lot of pushback against these polyphenols and plant molecules as if they're going to kill you or they're unhealthy. But the fact of the matter is there is way too much scientific literature pointing towards a lot of them, but not all of them, but many polyphenols and plant molecules actually have the ability to make your immune system stronger. Okay, and so it's the concept of hormesis. I believe the second part to a bulletproof immune system is finding the 20% of hormetic stressors that provide you 80% of the immune boosting, body and mind strengthening results that you want. So hormesis, for those who aren't up to date on it, is basically the concept that a little bit of stress in the right doses at the right intensity makes your body stronger, and this goes for your immune system as well. So everybody knows if they're exposed to a viral infection or they're exposed to bacteria, etc., their body is going to get a little sense of the threat, and then it can develop immunity after dealing with the threat, right? Many people trust in natural immunity, such as myself. I preferentially subscribe to the terrain theory of infectious disease, where basically if you build the terrain strong enough, infectious disease generally doesn't affect you as much as people who have weak terrain. And I believe that's definitely supported by the evidence. And basically, you can do many things to strengthen the terrain of your immune system besides just like exposing yourself to a wide range of bacteria. So, there's things like probiotics and fermented foods and things that supposedly boost your good bacteria in your gut, And from what I've seen in the literature around probiotics, it's not so great. But fermented foods are actually, they have a lot of benefits outside of just probiotics. They seem to be beneficial and definitely don't hurt you. And they're not going to burn a hole in your pocket if you make them yourself, compared to probiotic supplements, which are just cash cows for charlatans. Let's see. So I do not think eating a bunch of kale or eating a pound of broccoli is going to do anything magical, because I don't think the molecules in those plants have any magical properties. However, there are a lot of plants that do have immune boosting polyphenols, and this is key. So you have tonic herbs, things like reishi, things like gynosema, ginseng, and rhodiola. And these have polyphenols that basically they develop molecules that actually are plant defense mechanisms against their environment. For example, rhodiola has rosavins and solidisaccharides, and these are molecules that are created to boost the plant's immune system against high altitudes, because it's grown like thousands of feet up in like the Himalayan mountains or something, the Tibetan mountains or something like that. And when plants are grown in really harsh conditions, they actually get stronger. They develop stronger defense mechanisms against those harsh conditions. And when the animals and humans consume them, it seems like the humans also develop some kind of like immune boosting, strengthening quality from those plant molecules. Now, this has been documented for thousands of years in Ayurvedic medicine, Chinese medicine, and it's one of the reasons why we have the concept of adaptogens now. Things like rhodiola, reishi mushroom, ginseng, what else? Romania, what's another one? Just holy basil, ashwagandha, although that's a wild card one. And the list goes on. Eleuthero. So these are tonic herbs that you can take on a daily basis to boost your body's immunity and strengthen your body and your mind and help your body adapt to stress. And it's interesting how we've been seeing anecdotally that these things help with things like depression, anxiety, sleep problems, memory, and they seem to boost recovery from exercise. And the molecules that seem to be providing the main portion of the benefit, the active constituents, are molecules that are developed in the plant in response to the harsh conditions and stress that the plants are under. So there does seem to be like a kind of like transference of effects from these plants' defense molecules into humans. But it's not that all plants do such a thing, and many do have like negative side effects as well. But what I believe that we should be focusing on after we get the building blocks, and that's key, 1 gram of protein per pound of ideal body weight. We need to be doubling down on hormetic activities. Going into the sauna, putting our bodies under stress. And let me just say on the plant molecules, finding some of these plant molecules and adaptogens and whatever plant foods or fruits, or even coffee. Some coffees are grown in different conditions that can change their polyphenol content. Same thing with different teas and things like People ask me about green tea. I don't think that it has like magical qualities. I don't think any of these things are going to really help your immune system if you're under eating protein. Because in order for these to work, you have to give your body the building blocks in order for it to work on. But once you got the protein down, these molecules in these plants, they seem to take those endogenous antioxidants and upregulate them and strengthen them over time, to where you'll see a lot of these like blue zones. A big thing that they have in common is that they eat a lot of these polyphenols that provide these hormetic stressors. So I think the hormetic effects of these foods is key. So adaptogens and things that have some of these qualities, strengthening qualities, is key. Things that have a long history in Chinese medicine for boosting longevity. And be very careful about things like echinacea and golden seal and some of these immune stimulating herbs. I don't think those are good to take on a regular basis. Only good to take in times where you really need a strong short-term boost in your immune system. Those are not tonic herbs. So then things that you can do for your environment and whatnot as in the human condition that can directly provide the similar environmental stress that these plants get is key. Going in the sauna for a pretty long duration, going and taking cold showers and being in extreme cold exposure is key. Cold showers have shown many benefits, including tripling dopamine for a long period of time. Heat shock proteins from intense heat, I think that's key. Lots of benefits on boosting immunity and strengthening the overall body and mind through heat exposure. Hardcore exercise, especially cardiovascular exercise that gets you sweating and pumped up. I think that's key. Very, very important. And it breaks down the body and makes it stronger. I think ketosis, at the very least, maybe a cyclic ketogenic diet, long periods of time without food at all, like fasting. I think these things make the body and the mind stronger, and they definitely do, there's autophagy, but there's also a wide variety of other adaptations that take place on ketosis and fasting diets and make the body more efficient and definitely make the body more resilient. And I think, the anecdotes go with, definitely are worth a lot of weight. There are many people who swear, including myself, that ketogenic diets are very high in protein at the very least, not old school ones that restrict protein unnecessarily to boost ketones, combined with intermittent fasting and hard exercise is like a winning key. Like for me, I would say the ideal superhuman way of boosting immunity and just in longevity and just becoming super robust would be to combine like one meal a day, or maybe do 2 meals a day, but do like 16 to 18 hour fast every day and train vigorously during that fasting period. Take tonic herbs, cordyceps, reishi, gynosema, maybe Polyrachis ant, and then consume green tea, black coffee, but only buy the highest quality ones that are grown in these stressful conditions I mentioned, like high altitude grown coffees and things like that are sun dried, to get the most of these polyphenols. Do things like hot exposure, like go in the sauna for like an hour a day or something. Make sure you hydrate. Take cold showers, super cold showers. And I think sleep deprivation also has some pretty beneficial effects. Even though people think it'll just kill you, I think if you go without sleep for a while, it actually creates beneficial adaptations. So that's all for now. I would go into more depth, but I got to get to school. So I'm going to save this video and post it up on YouTube. I'll make more videos about this in the future, and I'll provide a lot more different methods and tips and discuss more mechanisms and things. Post down below if you like this and post your requests on what you want to hear more about, and I'll talk to y'all next time.